Hey everyone, before we dive in, here's something really cool. You're listening to an episode created almost entirely by AI. From the script to the voice, this is part of the AI Takeover series by Blockchain DXB, where we explore what's possible when humans hand over the mic to machines. There's little to no human involvement, and that's what makes this episode so powerful. Welcome to the future of content creation. Let's get into it. This episode is powered by Amana, the region's first and fastest growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. Whether you're looking to invest in US stocks like Apple or Tesla, or MENA giants like Adinoc or Salik, Amana puts the financial market at your fingertips. You also get access to gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, and commodities. With over 375 assets to choose from, they've got the largest crypto selection in the region. And listen, guys, if you want to build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day and want to automate your investing, just set your monthly budget, choose your preferred categories, and let Amana do the rest. No fees, no lockups, and 100% customizable. Even better, funding your account is frictionless, and funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits, and even your crypto wallet. No friction, no hassle. And if you get stuck, Amana offers 24/6 real human customer support and personalized sales assistance. Because you're part of the Blockchain DXB community, you get an exclusive offer. Register with the code BlockchainDXB and make at least one trade to receive a $100 trading bonus credited to your account the following month. So what are you waiting for? Download the Amana app now. The link and code are in the show notes. Next up, Blockchain DXB is proud to be the official media partner for one of the biggest blockchain events of the year, the Blockchain Futurist Conference. For the first time ever, North America's leading crypto event is heading to the United States, taking place at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida. Alongside it is ETH Women, happening simultaneously. Expect multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, tech demos, metaverse experiences, and more, all under one roof. It's where the smartest minds in blockchain, crypto, and AI will converge. Get 25% off tickets by using the code DXB25. And yes, I'll be there with exclusive live coverage, behind-the-scenes interviews, and spotlight features on groundbreaking projects. Mark your calendars, November 5th and 6th, 2025. Visit futuristconference.com and use code DXB25. Link is in the show notes. Next up, Blockchain DXB has two more interesting partnership news to announce. First up, with Future Blockchain Summit and Fintech Surge 2025. Blockchain DXB is an official media partner of Future Blockchain Summit and Fintech Surge 2025. Future Blockchain Summit is one of the biggest and oldest blockchain summit taking place in Dubai, going back to almost a decade, 2017 to be precise. The event takes place between October 12th to 15th at Dubai Harbour. This is where blockchain meets fintech to redefine the future of finance. 250 plus world-class speakers, 1,200 plus investors, live demos, product launches, and the exclusive invite-only GITEX Digital Assets Forum, all under one roof. From Web3 pioneers to fintech leaders shaping payments, banking, insurtech, AI, and DeFi, this event brings the entire ecosystem together. Startups, this is your launchpad. Get in front of top VCs, accelerators, and industry leaders. For blockchain and fintech companies, this is where connections turn into partnerships and dreams turn into exits. Register today at futureblockchainsummit.com. Don't just watch the future unfold, own your space in it. Remember, Future Blockchain Summit and Fintech Surge 2025. The registration link is in the show notes below, and see you at Dubai Harbour. Second partnership news kicking off from today is with the leading Bitcoin event organizers on this planet. And this year, Bitcoin Asia is taking things to another level. Bitcoin Asia are hosting a massive gathering this August in Hong Kong, and Blockchain DXB is proud to be an official media partner of Bitcoin Asia 2025. Taking place this August in Hong Kong, Bitcoin Asia is the region's premier Bitcoin gathering, where builders, investors, and innovators meet. It's really an honor for Blockchain DXB to be associated with Bitcoin Asia. Now at this event, expect powerful keynotes, bold conversations, and a headlining session with none other than Eric Trump. He will be sharing his vision for Bitcoin's long-term potential, its role in global finance, and Asia's massive impact on adoption, and a lot more. So listen up, guys. From infrastructure to regulation, privacy tools to lightning development, Bitcoin Asia connects global Bitcoin communities and drives innovation across cultures and markets. And as part of this partnership, you can register for the Bitcoin Asia using the code DXB. All the details are in the show notes below. If Bitcoin's in your blood, this is your event. So, register today at asia.btc and don't forget to use code DXB for 10% off your tickets. Bitcoin Asia 2025, Hong Kong is calling. Be part of the future of Bitcoin. Next up, Advanced Media is the largest distributor of professional video, photography, cinema, and broadcast accessories in the Middle East. They represent over 100 major brands, including DJI, Hasselblad, Red, and Rode. The mic I'm using to record this? Sponsored by Advanced Media. But what really sets them apart is their commitment to purpose. People, planet, and prosperity. That's not just branding, it's their actual business model. They've partnered with SAE Institute in Dubai to offer scholarships to students pursuing a bachelor's degree in filmmaking, each worth AED 50,000. They also run regular workshops, training programs, and tech showcases across the region. For more info, visit amt.t, that's amt.tv. Finally, let's talk about something every crypto investor should take seriously: security. And that's where Ledger comes in. Ledger is one of the most trusted names in crypto security. Their hardware wallets, like the Nano S Plus and Nano X, keep your assets safe by storing your private keys offline. That means you're protected against hacks, malware, and phishing attempts that can compromise online wallets. The company is headquartered in Paris and is constantly innovating. Their team works with world-class security researchers and regularly tests their own products for vulnerabilities. It's why Ledger wallets are used by millions around the world. Using a hardware wallet isn't just smart, it's essential. If you're serious about crypto, it's time to stop relying on centralized exchanges or browser wallets. Click the link in the show notes to order your Ledger wallet and support this podcast at the same time.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are jumping straight into a really high-stakes convergence point. We're talking crypto market rotations, major geopolitical moves in AI, and all of it is being underscored by some critical national security probes.
It is.
We're looking at a concentrated stack of source material, basically tracking global tech and finance as of November 25, 2025.
And this deep dive is, I think, essential because the landscape is just moving incredibly fast. Our mission here is to pull out the strategic lessons.
Right.
We need to understand the market shifts, sure, but also the geopolitics behind them. Why are regulations suddenly speeding up?
And why is the U.S. so openly questioning the security of something like Bitcoin mining machines?
Exactly. And most importantly, how trust corridors, like the one that's rapidly forming between the U.S. and the UAE, are really defining the future of global AI power.
It really feels like policy, tech, and capital are all operating as one unified system now.
They are.
What looks like just a boring market move one day can actually be a huge signal about international governance the next.
Precisely. If you're tracking policy, or even just institutional finance, you just can't avoid these connections anymore.
Okay, let's unpack this. And we'll start with the market fundamentals. The regulatory milestones that, really set the stage.
Right.
We need a temperature check on the crypto market first.
Okay, so the global market is holding just above $3 trillion. It's sitting at 3.11 trillion.
So there's been a little bump.
A slight bump, yeah, up about 2.2% in the last day. But that really doesn't tell the whole story. Despite this tiny price recovery, market sentiment is just squarely locked in extreme fear.
Still.
Still, confidence is low, even though that fear index score nudged up a little bit from 10 to 15.
That low confidence, paired with some market stability, makes the moves in institutional capital so important to watch.
It does.
If we look at the ETF data, the trend seems pretty clear. Capital is rotating out of the big guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The total ETF outflows are way lower than in previous weeks, landing around 45.5 million. Bitcoin outflows were tiny, which signals some stability for the leader. But Ethereum ETF outflows were substantial, 74 million.
74. So that's a definite capital rotation away from Ethereum.
It is.
And where's that capital going? Our sources seem to point very clearly to two major altcoins.
Solana and Ripple XRP.
Right.
Solana pulled in 26.2 million in inflows, and XRP brought in about 8.3 million.
For anyone watching closely, this isn't just a day's trade. This is capital that's, hunting for growth and maybe even looking for new regulatory safe harbors.
That hunt for opportunity is set against a really interesting backdrop in the U.S. economy.
Oh, yeah.
Our source highlights a report that says the U.S. employment rate has quietly pumped up over the last month. But the interesting part is the observation that mainstream media isn't really covering it. And if that's true, it might be delaying the broader market reaction you'd normally expect.
A delayed reaction plus this huge institutional appetite for altcoins leads us right to a landmark regulatory moment.
The New York Stock Exchange, the NYSE.
The big one. They've approved Grayscale's Doge ETF and XRP ETF for trading.
This is a signal you just cannot overstate.
Yeah.
I mean, when the NYSE, one of the world's biggest gatekeepers for mainstream finance, approves an ETF for assets like Doge and XRP.
It's a major validation point.
It is.
But let's pause and unpack the why here. I mean, an ETF is just a regulated way for big investors like pension funds to get exposure without holding the coins. So why these two?
I think it speaks to regulatory strategy. XRP has been through all those high-profile legal fights, so its ETF approval is like a quiet acknowledgement that it's passed certain hurdles.
And Doge?
Doge, well, despite its meme status, it has immense visibility, liquidity. So this action creates these regulated on-ramps for institutional money.
Paving the way for more liquidity.
And it also forces regulators to consider a much broader class of digital assets for future ETFs. It's institutional inclusion, really, whether the SEC is ready for it or not.
And as this capital rotation picks up speed, we're seeing the old dominant structure shift a little.
We are. Bitcoin is at 56.5%, Ethereum at 11.4%, both trending down slightly. But the movement in privacy coins is what's really striking.
Right.
Historically, Monero was the leader there, but Zcash has just overtaken it in market cap. Yeah. We're talking 8.65 billion versus Monero's 7.27 billion.
That's a pretty significant shift in leadership for that niche.
It is, and it suggests that institutional interest, or maybe just the need for untraceable transactions, is finding a new home in Zcash. It's a small dynamic, but it says a lot about what users want.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. We're going to transition now from tracking anonymous coins to tracking high-stakes geopolitical scrutiny over actual physical hardware.
From finance to national security.
And the supply chain. This is all about BITMAIN.
The Chinese tech titan. They manufacture the vast majority of Bitcoin mining machines in the world. And our sources are revealing that the U.S. government has been quietly investigating them for the last year.
And the core concern is simple, but kind of terrifying. What if these machines are Trojan horses?
U.S. officials are worried that the sheer number of these machines all across the U.S. could be a major national security risk.
Potentially allowing remote control by a foreign adversary, like China, to conduct espionage or even disrupt the U.S. power grid.
And that concern became critical when these BITMAIN machines were reportedly found operating really close to U.S. military bases.
Critical infrastructure sites, yeah. That proximity just triggered an immediate federal response.
Which led to Homeland Security launching a deep investigation. They called it Operation Red Sunset. We understand agents have been physically dismantling these machines at U.S. ports, inspecting the chips, the software, trying to figure out what they can really do.
And the status of what they found is still unknown. But the fact that the investigation even happened, that's the real story here.
And we should remember, this isn't the first time BITMAIN has faced these questions, right?
Not at all. Back in 2017, there was this resurfaced drama where Bitcoin Magazine reported on code that could allegedly allow a remote shutdown.
What was their defense then? Their public line was that it was just an anti-theft security measure, a bug, not a feature. And they claimed they fixed it.
But that conflict is still playing out today. BITMAIN strongly denies any remote control capabilities, any cooperation with the Chinese government. They cite their FCC compliance checks.
But then, on the other side, the sources note that American Bitcoin Corp, which is managed by President Donald Trump's son, publicly claimed they tested the machines themselves and found no issues.
Relying on what they called strict internal security protocols.
Right. And this just creates a massive dilemma for U.S. policymakers. How do you square those claims when the stakes are so incredibly high?
It's fascinating.
What's fascinating here is that the technical truth is almost secondary to the geopolitics of it. You have tens of thousands of foreign-made machines already near U.S. facilities. That alone creates a huge potential attack surface.
So BITMAIN is just caught right in the middle.
Exactly. Right in the heart of U.S. security, technology, and political debates, all because of this perceived vulnerability.
That fear of compromise, that lack of trust in a tech supply chain, is the perfect frame for our next segment.
It is.
If the U.S. is afraid of one supply chain, it has to go out and actively build a trusted one somewhere else.
Which brings us to the U.S.-UAE Trust Corridor.
Right, the massive news around this global AI partnership. The BITMAIN issue is really about a failure of trust.
And the UAE deal is about the strategy to bear that trust from the ground up.
Domestically, we saw President Trump sign an executive order for the Genesis mission, a huge federal push to accelerate scientific discovery, medicine, energy, manufacturing using AI and supercomputers. The goal is to lock in the U.S. position as the global leader in innovation.
But the international move is, you could argue, even more defining strategically.
At chip exports.
The U.S. approved advanced chip exports to G42, an Abu Dhabi-based AI company. Given how strict the U.S. has been with chip exports to other countries, this approval is just an unprecedented signal of trust.
And the importance of this was amplified almost immediately.
By BlackRock CEO Larry Fink.
Yeah, he posted about it on LinkedIn. He didn't just mention it, he called it an important step in the global trajectory of artificial intelligence.
And he stressed the need for global partnership grounded in trust. When a guy representing trillions in global capital says something like that, you know it's a foundational policy shift.
And this isn't just some paper agreement. This approval lets G42 move straight to the execution phase.
Launching massive, real infrastructure projects. We're talking about the 1 gigawatt Stargate computer cluster.
One of the largest in the world.
Set to be built in a joint UAE-USA campus with partners like OpenAI, Oracle, Cisco, NVIDIA.
Okay, this sounds great, but what actually mitigates the security concerns? The ones that were so front and center with BITMAIN. What's the mechanism of trust here?
That's the key policy detail. The chips and all the infrastructure operate under a U.S. Commerce Department-approved, regulated technology environment.
So the U.S. government has oversight.
Mandated oversight, yes.
Yeah.
Compliance checks on the entire operating system. It's a framework that shows deep regulatory alignment and, critically, it bakes the trust right in.
This isn't just selling chips, it's co-developing an AI ecosystem under agreed-upon security rules.
Exactly.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, the UAE is basically becoming the only non-Western region building AI at this scale that has this kind of explicit, high-level U.S. regulatory blessing.
And that allows both nations to move at full speed, establishing this critical, trusted corridor. It could potentially create a bifurcated global tech landscape.
A truly defining strategic move. Trust is really the most valuable commodity in the AI race.
It is. The UAE brings the capital and the strategic location.
Yeah.
The U.S. brings the chips, the AI software, and the regulatory framework. That combo is a force multiplier.
Okay, let's pivot back to the Web3 space. Let's see how this desire for scale and regulation is playing out there, especially with the Middle East's growing status as a tech hub.
We have two major developments that really highlight this, how Web3 is gaining both massive consumer access and that vital institutional footing.
First, user access. We have the partnership between Telegram Wallet and Monad.
Right. Monad is a new, really high-powered Layer 1 blockchain.
And for anyone listening, a Layer 1 is the core network like Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Exactly. Monad is designed for extreme speed. They're aiming for 10,000 transactions per second.
That kind of speed is critical for mass adoption. It makes the experience feel instant, like using a credit card.
And the partnership is just brilliant. By teaming up with Telegram Wallet, Monad lets Telegram's millions of users, Manny totally new to crypto deposit, trade, and stake the MON token right inside the app they already use.
It's all about reducing friction.
A masterstroke in reducing friction. You don't need a separate, complicated wallet. You're in an environment you already trust. This gives Monad instant global reach and solves one of crypto's biggest hurdles: complexity.
And then on the institutional side, the focus is right back on Abu Dhabi.
It is. Omnico Brands, a global Web3 leader that's invested in over 600 companies, got in-principle approval from the Abu Dhabi Global Markets, the ADGM.
And the ADGM is a very sophisticated financial free zone.
Extremely. It's structured to attract global capital and stick to very high regulatory standards. So getting this in-principle approval means Omnico is that much closer to being a fully regulated fund manager there.
Why does that matter to our listener?
Because regulated fund managers are the gatekeepers. They're the necessary entry point for traditional institutional money pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, to get into Web3.
So this just confirms the UAE's strategy.
It confirms their strategy of becoming a legitimate, regulated Web3 hub,
Yeah.
not just some free-for-all tech playground.
Yeah.
It's what sophisticated global capital demands.
So what does this all mean when we bring it all together? We've covered a landscape that's just full of paradoxes. Rapid institutional crypto expansion happening alongside intense national security fears about its hardware.
And we see that geopolitical strategic trust, like with the US-UAE AI corridor, is being prioritized and executed at incredible speed.
That trusted corridor is moving way faster than the resolution of domestic security worries, like the BITMAIN probe.
It is. And at the same time, crypto keeps pushing for regulated acceptance with altcoin ETFs, and for mass consumer access with partnerships like Telegram and Monad.
The ecosystem is maturing on parallel tracks.
Institutional strategy and mass usability.
The ultimate synthesis seems to be this. The U.S. is using the Genesis mission to boost its domestic AI research.
Doubling down at home, yeah.
But to get global scale and security, it's simultaneously building this tightly regulated, trusted AI supply chain internationally with the UAE.
Which raises a really important question for you to consider.
Go on.
Does this very deliberate two-pronged approach boosting domestic R&D while strictly governing international scale through trust, does this signal the start of a truly bifurcated global tech landscape?
One where your future tech adoption is split along lines of strategic partnership, where the world is essentially forced to choose a side.
A side built on trust, or you face suspicion?
That choice will dictate not just who leads the AI race,
but where trillions of dollars of capital will flow in the next decade.
A profound thought to leave you with. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We encourage you to explore these concepts further.